naman siguro ng guys cross-culturally at one point in his existence wished to be the king of something. And why not? Of course, kings have been the symbol of benevolence and protection. At syempre, kapag ikaw yung hari ng isang domain, you have control. It implies. And so you're untouchable in a sense, which is of course good, and all the benefits that come on being the king. So isa lang yun. So of course you have servants, or you have people working for you, and you're respected everywhere you go. Well, this is just me. Ito lang yung notion ko ng kings na siguro sa fairy tales, sa mga fiction na mga great kings, sa mga literature na nababasa natin o napapanood natin sa Netflix, wherever. Nandun yun. And napakalaking power ang nasa kamay ng isang king. Pero on the other hand, there's also some huge responsibilities on your shoulders if you're declared as king of a domain. So, yun yung parang makakalimutan din na bigyan ng pansin ng mga nagiging hari. And that leads, unfortunately, to their downfall or to be dethroned. Now, may mga, again, I'm talking based from literature and stories, and of course history ng mga kings, like world history as we know it, non-fiction na history. May mga kings na nakaupo na ayaw na nilang i-relinquish ang kanyang throne. Gusto niya nang i-keep ang power, ang benefits sa, kanyang personal, not his pleasure. So again, that leads to their downfall, being dethroned. It's very interesting yung mga ganun na cases. It's not, of course, it's bad na nagsuffer ng malaki under their rule and guidance, na nagkaroon ang population ng isang hari or leader na nagbigay ng pahirap, instead na ang gusto natin is prosperity, of course, sa population. sa kanyang nasasakupan. Who wouldn't want that? So, as I was reading again lately, reading on the role of masculinity sa grander scheme of things sa society, and of course how it manifests in every man. Again, there is this king energy. Okay? There is this king energy that's just waiting to manifest itself. Pero if it is harnessed na improperly, it could lead to disaster. So, what makes a bad king? So we can avoid them or not copy them. Ayon dun sa mga literature na nabasa ko nga, ang kings, like leader of a group, like the ruler, has a couple of functions. Number one, ang role ng king is to provide. The key word is to provide. Okay? Is to provide fertility to the domain, or you can call it the kingdom. What's explored? Okay? Sa lahat ng nasasakupan ng hari, it is his job na gawing fertile ang lands, like metaphorically and literally, make the people healthy, fertile, prosperous, robust. There's richness to life, that na nararamdaman ng mga tao sa all across the social strata. So, like, kunyari, if ikaw ay, let's say, empleyado ka ng, empleyado ka ng isang corporation, if you got a good king, you feel it na, there's prosperity. You feel the prosperity. Okay? And that's why when you pay tribute to the king, because syempre kapag king ka, people pay tribute to you in the form of, let's say, taxes, goods, services. Like you can serve the king as a specialist, ganun, and parang to give back to the kingdom, diba? And be recognized for it. So that is one of the functions ng mga supposedly kings that put into position of power. So provide fertility. So how do you do it? So of course, you embody a fertile personality. So kings must, be strong, must be healthy. That's why mga kings like King Arthur, you can't picture King Arthur na flimsy, or King Aragorn, diba? Dun sa very interesting yung si King Aragorn niya sa Return of the King, sa Lord of the Rings. Spoiler alert if hindi mo pa napapanood ang Lord of the Rings. Well, spoiler alert, but here it is. Maybe you can skip this part. And but in the end, Return of the King, as the title of the book suggests and the movie suggests, is the return of the king from far away back to the kingdom, back to his kingdom. By the end, may scene doon sa Lord of the Rings na once na parang nagbigay na sila ng tribute na na-restore na ang long lost king sa kanyang throne, na mulaklak yung tree, like may patay na puno doon, tapos nabuhay siya. Baga, it's a mystical representation, but you get the point. Now, ibig sabihin, everything is balanced again. Parang ganun. Na the lands are fertile again. There's a righteous king na nakaupo to rule the land. So that's fertility. Also sa Lion King, dun sa bandang dulo, if you haven't watched The Lion King, watch it. It's very symbolic. So sa dulo nung Lion King, nung natalo na ni Simba si Scar, nag-growl siya, umakyat siya sa dulo ng Pride Rock. Ayun yung kingdom ng dati niyang tatay. Munta siya sa Pride Rock. Nag-roar siya dun. And the other lions naki-roar din sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, they identify with the king. Nag-roar yung king sa top of Pride Rock. And then pati mga lionesses. Ibig sabihin yung cry nila, they're one with the king. And umuulan nun. There's a scene na sunog lahat. And then the other frame nag-transform into colorful, the trees, there's grass, the grass is green again, the trees are bearing fruit again, that kind of thing. So that's the symbolism na sinasuggest if you have a good king sitting on the throne and presiding over things. That's one of the roles of the king, to give fertility. Number 2 is to ensure and create order. So, yun. Ibig sabihin, not just order na, just order food. But, order in a sense na there's peace. There's no chaos. There's no walang magulo, walang kaguluhan, kaayusan, order. That's the other role of the king besides being a fertile person. Okay? Kailangan dyan ang nasasakupan mo, you make sure na walang nagnanakaw. Kung may magnanakaw man or kunyari ganun nakapatay, walang murder, walang robbery, walang ganung mga klase, walang crime. Okay? Baga, there's peace and harmony within its citizens. Okay? Hindi lang sa citizens yon, pati of course yung infrastructure ng kingdom mo. Dapat you also have that in mind. Is the plumbing working? Kamusta ang sewers? Are the are we making sure na the taxes are just right, na kaya ng harvest ng mga farmers natin, ng mga workers natin na magbayad ng tribute and not feel bad about it, not feel cheated. No, ganun. Ang kaban ng is order, their security. Ibig sabihin yung mga unwanted visitors or mga sabihin na nating yung borders natin are well protected. Like if may mga taong, kasi if your kingdom is prosperous and there's order in it, it's also parang maging target ang domain mo ng mga outsiders who are up to nothing good. Diba? So that's the other thing. That's order. What else connotes order? Of course, yun nga, cleanliness, which is tied up dun sa being a fertile king. Walang mess, walang basura sa kalye. That's order. It's part of order. Sumusunod sa batas ang mga tao. They have respect for you. Out of, people obey your orders. Like, yung mga decree, yung mga nakasulat, written and unwritten orders na sinusunod ng mga tao, of course, out of respect, fear, and the right balance of just rule. That's the other purpose of being a king. If the king ay mag-fail sa kanyang order, kahit fertile siya na ganun, pero chaotic yung magulo yung nasasakupan niya, it's useless. The kingdom the citizenry will crumble down. That's it. So, number 3 is, so yung role is blessing. The king is able to bless the land. Kumbaga parang tied ito kasi dun sa parang ang king ay isa siyang, like for example yung pharaoh, yung sa Egypt, ancient Egypt, ang mga pharaohs are literally kings na may demigod status sila on earth. Pag yung burial nila ng mga pharaohs, meron silang ceremony na yung dahil yung parang God's personification on earth ang pharaoh, like divine, semi-divine being ang pharaoh. So they are able na mag-bless ng mga tao. Like just being in the presence of the pharaoh will fill you with, blessing and like some sort of spiritual energy na that's beyond, that's beyond analysis. That's you just feel it. It's not a matter of thought anymore. Parang ganun, you receive the blessing, of course, kung nasa presence siya. Like how much more if kunyari may pharaoh nandoon ka sa kanyang presence, and then sinabi niya, let's say na parang si Pope na nagbe-bless ng mga tao, like may your child be strong, and so something like that, some ceremony like that na or na nandun sa presensya ng, like when the pharaoh or the king or the leader grants audience na makita niya yung mga nasasakupan niya. So that's blessing, giving them blessing na nang depende sa, let's say, blessing for Christmas or kapag may holidays, holy days, HOLY days, na kunyari isang special holiday ng, let's say, sabihin natin New Year's Day, ganun, which is kung kailan nabubuo ulit ang New Year. Ganun kasi yung nung unang panahon. Yung kaya tayo nag-celebrate ng New Year is because the world is new again. It's like parang na-destroy siya, the past, it's destroyed in the past a bit, but during January 1st or that time, then the world is not upside down again. It's order. It has come back to order. It's fertile again. It's ready for farming and ready to produce blessings for the people. So the king, isa pa yon. It's parang na siya, yung the power to bless the population is that's one of the transcendent roles ng king. And ito yon, the olden kings na well groomed, well initiated kings na dumadaan sa ritual processes, like traditional ritual initiation processes, from like being a prince papunta sa king, like yung crowning, ganon, na pagtama yung pag-groom sa kanila, na-guide sila ng tama, let's say, ng previous king, like ng previous dad nila. So, if the dad is like a good king, parang si Mufasa to Simba, then Simba will be able to follow his dad's footsteps. As explained, everyone is, it's about balance, it's about being wise, it's about respecting the circle of life, understanding it. Lion King, really brilliant. So yun yung sinabi ni Mufasa kay Simba, na the king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. So the king understands that at one point, he must step down as being king. And then one day, sabi ni Mufasa kay Simba, my sun will set and will rise with you, sabi niya kay Simba. So hindi maintindihan ni Simba yun kasi he's a kid, but binibigyan siya ni Mufasa ng wise words about being a king. Another one is yung sa Circle of Life, explain na, no? Ni Mufasa, like, we eat the deer, but when we die, we become grass. So, parang ganun. And the antelope eats the grass. So, and that's the great circle of life. Explain niya. So, the good king understands it. So, may opportunities. If there's a good king, there's order. Isipin na lang natin, there's a trifactor. Okay? What happens kung ang king, ang leaders na nasa in charge at pinipili ng general society are tawag dito, may sense of order, check yun, may sense of na kayang magbigay ng fertility, looks fertile, looks strong, mind, body, spirit strong, and then has the capacity to bless the population. And other characteristics would be maybe a just king, na just meaning si King Solomon just na maging mag-judge, na i-judge yung judgment niya will be measured by that standard, na kay King Solomon ganun siya King Solomon sa Bible yung story niya. So for the uninitiated and siguro sa mga non-Christians, okay, what do you mean by wisdom of King Solomon in a king? So, kasi ang short kwento niyan, okay, once upon a time, may dalawang babae nag-aagawan sa isang sanggol. Pumunta sila kay King Solomon kasi yung dalawang babae, nag-aagawan sila dun sa baby kasi pareho nilang kine-claim na anak nila yon. Okay, yung isa dun sa mga woman na nagsasabi ay na parang akin to, sabi niya ganun, anak ko yan. Tapos yung isa sabi rin niya, hindi, akin yan, anak ko yan. Sabi niya. Sabi ni King Solomon, okay, ganito para walang away. Gawin natin, hahatiin natin yung bata. Yung isang top part, tapos yung isa bottom part. Tapos ibibigay ko sa inyo, hati kayo para walang away, sabi ni King Solomon. Now, sabi nung isang nanay, wag nyo pong gawin, bigay nyo na lang sa kanya, sabi nung isang babae. So at that point, alam ni King Solomon na siya yung totoong nanay nung sanggol. Dahil walang mother na magpapayag sa ganong deal. Okay? Walang na like, hatiin yung anak, hati kayo. So that's like a hallmark of wisdom. Ganong klaseng decision making yung dapat nasa king, na nasa top, nasa apex ng ating society. So it does not only apply to, let's say, the political landscape like kingdoms. It also applies to domains na you have some sort of kingship in. Kasi the important thing is, it's not really about, as the literature suggests, the important thing is the kingship, hindi yung person. Yung person na nakaupo dun sa trono, kumbaga embodiment lang siya ng ideal na king na transcendent. Ideal siya ng energy. Okay. So dapat fit yung ideal energy ng king, na yun nga, may sense of order, fertile, kaya magbigay ng blessing, wise, nakapag-protect sa population, matapang, courageous, pag may gera dun siya, his knowledge about technology, alam niya na yung technology is i-harness to move the society forward. Of course, he is also a good king, and he knows how to love and to relate, not to just his kumbaga inner circle, but to the whole public itself. The king kumbaga likes to also engage in poetry, some mga sophisticated stuff like that. Poetry, painting, some novelties na mga ganon, 'di ba, mga let's say palaro, mga talent contests. The king also takes pleasure in and desire in providing that to his constituents. So yun yung lahat ng qualities ng king. Now, the king is, again, hindi siya yung tao. It's the energy. Okay, that's the king energy. Yung tao is just a vehicle to become that person na ideal na nagre-represent sa transcendent energy ng king. Okay, it's the energy. It's not the person. It's the energy. Dahil lang king, even though siya yung hari, it looks like lahat sineserve siya. Pero dapat yung king may sineserve pa rin, which is the transcendent nga. Ang sineserve ng king is for the good, the highest of good, the transcendent good, the values na napasa ng future civilizations, future kings, future royalties, yung knowledge na yun, and to uphold that standard or even make it better. So the kingdom becomes prosperous. The people are happy, healthy, doesn't fight each other, and there's civility, and there's culture, and there's some explosion of wealth and richness and everything sa kingdom. Now, some kings are bad kings. Here's the thing. Like, some become tyrants. So, from that pa lang, let's say tyrant si Hitler, si Joseph Stalin, yung mga tyrants na ganun, Pol Pot, what do? They're kings. Okay, they're kings. Pero hindi nila naintindihan na yung ganid sila sa power. They wanted power to just rest on their hands. Ayaw nila sa bagong generation na hindi nila matanggap na may end, yung kailangan silang i-succeed. Yung term nila sa throne at the top is may kailangan mag-succeed sa kanila na worthy enough. So, tyrant sila. So, ayaw nila yon. So, gusto nila sa kanila lang. So, that's where and when the kingdom, the people suffer. Because, let's say, too much order, diba? Yun yung Nazi Germany. There's just too much order. Masyado siyang, pag sinabi ni Hitler, patayin ka. Too much order. Baga, yung mga tao, walang freedom. They can't speak well. They can't, they expect to be to be parang loyal sa king, sa ruler, sa the one who sits on the top of the mountain. Merong mga informants na pagsabihin lang na ganun, na may makarating sa, let's say, dito sa king na to, then they get killed. Ma-perceive na threat, they get killed. So, that's one example of being a bad king that's into a tyrant. And, they don't understand the purpose. They don't understand their role. Their role is to become a king, pero like na obsessed sila, they got possessed by the idea of power resting on their own hands and then abusing it. Diba? So that's what you get when you get a tyrant. The other end of the spectrum naman, kung meron kang sobrang aggressive na kings, there are kings that are just plain sick. What does that mean? If the king is sick, how can he provide fertility and blessing? Diba? Again, yun nga, if you're a guy who wants to be king, you can't do it when you're sick. You're supposed to be the paragon. Ikaw yung representasyon ng pagiging fertile at pagiging rich, pagiging mayaman, pagiging maalindog ng lupa, ng kalupaan, 'di ba? What will people like, parang makakita silang leader nila uugod-ugod, ang leader nila nakaupo, nakadextrose, ang leader ng bansa, ng kingdom, ng korporasyon, ng school, ng parents teachers association, whatever it is, kung sino man yung nasa taas, kung sino yung nasa top na naatasan na mag-establish ng order at fertility at blessing dun sa kanyang nasasakupan. If he's sick, then what is it? The kingdom will be weak and sick then. That's the logic. Diba? The king is the representation of the kingdom. If you got a sick king, then you get a sick kingdom, whatever that is. Sick meaning like there's loss of order. Can't impose order kasi sick ka. Can't make wise decisions kasi your body's not working properly. Your mind is sick, your body is sick, your spirit is sick, you're weak. Diba? But you're still there. Why? Because you don't understand na someone has to succeed you. Someone has to, your sun has set and someone's sun has to rise over the kingdom and give light and give blessing and all those things, justice and technology and poetry and culture. Some kings like that, then people suffer. So it's a balancing act for the king. And for males or guys who feel the king energy, na feel natin yun lalo na kapag kunyari gusto nating maging hari ng something, na-challenge tayo, merong isa tayong gustong maging let's say domain, kung hindi man literal na gusto mong maging politiko at maghari sa isang lugar, kung ano man yan, kung ano mang linya yung napili mo, kung boxing ka, ikaw yung hari ng boxing, kung ikaw yung hari ng let's say isang probinsya, hari ka dun, ikaw yung nasa taas, o hari ka basta isang teritoryo, yun lang siya. Kung hari ka ng isang teritoryo, hindi masama yun. Lahat ng lalaki sa base dun sa sinasuggest ng nabasa ko, sa mga literature na nabasa ko at mga napanood ko, lahat ng lalaki may urge, dahil lahat tayo is born with that divine spark in us na meron tayong element ng ganun. Some more than others nga lang. Let's say pwede ako maging king ng isang domain, ikaw hindi, kasi magkaiba tayo ng laro na ginagalawan, 'di ba? Kunyari pwede akong maging hari ng domain ng let's say pagtitinda ng fishball, yung taong nabubuhay sa dagat, sa gitna ng dagat at nangingisda, even though pareho kaming fish, I doubt na pwede siyang maging hari ng fishball dahil hindi niya pinapractice yun, di ba? So hindi siya pwede maging hari ng fishball sa gitna ng dagat. At the same time, di rin ako pwede maging hari ng, let's say, pangingisda ng lapu-lapu sa gitna ng syudad. So there's the domain and there's the expertise, and then yun nga yung mga ideals, order, fertility, blessing, justice, wisdom. Lahat ng yun is embodied sa mga kings. And we strive for that. We like to see that sa ibang tao. Nakikita natin may mga tao talaga na exceptional, na yun yung qualities na nakikita natin. Yung iba self-branded na hari daw sila ng ganito. Pero upon examination, upon observation ng mga values na pinaproject nila sa society, na pinoproclaim nila, it's either they're king, pero they're either tyrants or not. Kumbaga, like they're a sick king. Mahina siya, weak king, sick king. So they're still kings nonetheless. So we gotta be aware of those. So yeah, if you're a masculine person and you wanted to be king, just remember yung purpose and who you serve. Again, you serve the transcendent. It's the hardest ones to serve because those are beyond this world. That's what the king serves. In a way, para kang conduit from the gods and the spirits and all those all those metaphysical entities ng mga talagang wisest and the oldest and the archaic and lahat ng yun nasa sayo dapat. Matapang, talino, mapagmahal, maayos, lahat ng yun sila. Yun ang responsibilities at roles mo bilang king temporarily. It's not permanent. You should understand that too. So, yung time mo na yun as ruler, nandun ka sa taas, you gotta make and better be damn sure na you do your thing properly. Otherwise, hindi ka deserve maging king because you're gonna make the people suffer, you're gonna make the land infertile, you're gonna make the people unblessed and depressed and oppressed and just plain unhappy and unsatisfied. And when you get a population like that, of course, chaos is definitely gonna flood over and take over. So that's it. But on the other hand, again, like I mentioned, yung benefits ng pagiging king, well, you got servants and all of that. You get a territory, you get respect, you get recognition, you get written in the books. People sing songs about you, people tell stories about you. Yung life mo is being fictionalized and gumagawa sila ng artifacts in your name. But you gotta earn it. Okay? And in a practical sense, you can identify with it. Like in the modern sense, you can identify with it. That energy, it's good. Okay? You can identify with it, but as long as you remember, okay, na that's just in a blink of an eye, it could be gone. Just wrong decisions can strip, you can strip away yourself of the kingship you're trying to build by making wrong decisions and like by thinking only about yourself. You're there as a steward. Sa totoo lang, you're there as a steward of the kingdom appointed by the divine. That's it. So if you can't do it, of course there's no one's perfect. There's lots of kings come and go, but it's helpful na malaman nating lahat in the modern sense how to tap into the proper kingly energies na nasa sa that's nested within us, like in our inner center and the quote unquote super souls, like in our hearts of hearts. We should remember that being a king is not just something na like I'm a king of this, like ganon na I'm gonna be the king of barangay this and that, self-proclamation. No, it's not that. The king is proclaimed by the people. You're not a king if you don't have a territory, you don't have other people working for you. Then you're not in order. Your life's not in order. You're in shambles. People don't want to go near you and be blessed. You're impotent, diba? So like we can notice a lot of people proclaiming themselves like that. Well, just remember the functions, and that will hopefully guide you towards a kingship and a cultivation of the king inside you. Just don't be tyrant. Just don't be weak. Just be strong enough. I think that's it. That's the point. Just enough. Be strong enough. Be wise enough. Be orderly enough. Be courageous enough. Be technologically knowledgeable enough. Be lovable enough. And be open enough to give it to people. So, like, when I say people, give it to the public, people who you are responsible of. Like, if you want to be the king of your family, king of your house, then, do whatever is necessary to make your kingdom, your little house, as orderly, as fertile, and as blessed as you possibly could, until your successor comes along and you can pass the crown to him. So he can be the right king, could be your son, could be some people you trust, but basically it's like Mufasa to Simba, from father to son. And so the family will continually flourish amidst the challenges na kinakaharap ng their generation. So imagine that, if you could pass if our sons could be wise kings, orderly kings, blessed kings, and fertile kings, then it would be a fertile and orderly and blessed, peaceful society. So I think that's it. So the other types, the tyrants and the weak kings, those are the it's like immature kings, like immature princes, like too spoiled or too sheltered or too angry, or who just wanted power for their own self and not really for the whole benefit of the kingdom or the domain. So that is it. I hope you learned something on this episode on how to harness and tap your king energy. For queens, like for some people, some ladies who are listening, perhaps wala kasi ako nabasa na about how to harness your queen energy, but I think you'll get the point. Maybe the counterpart is also, like as the king, complement the king, like order, fertility, blessing, na kayong dalawa, you combine yourselves. Maybe mother, the feminine aspect is especially sa fertility, you beautify the land, I guess, while the king is doing the order part. You as the queen can do the fertility part, and you both can do the blessing of the whole kingdom part. So it's interesting, but again, I'm not an expert. Again, I'm just a student. I just like to read about this because I think this patriarchy thing is misunderstood, but there's hope. It could be understood if we just all, if we just have the patience to read about how to avoid immature leaders from getting put into positions of power. Uninitiated males, females, whoever, uninitiated people na let's not put them in position to have them mess things up for all of us. And in that way also, if we have good kings and queens, then we wouldn't we all wouldn't be bothered paying taxes and tributes to them. So everyone's happy, everyone's rich, everyone's blessed, everyone's orderly, everyone's healthy, everything's fertile, all of that. Okay, so If you got questions, you know how to reach me. My Instagram is, I think, linked. But if you want to send a voice message via Anchor, feel free. I'd love to talk to you about all this, about the patriarchy, its misconceptions, how we can avoid it for the next generation. How to, like, of course, discuss it civilly, with civility, and cool-headedness, and with open minds and open hearts, and just respect with each other, because there's too much of the uh, too much of the other else these days, especially on the internet. So yeah, thanks, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening.